Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. And Dave, we have quite a number of games coming up this weekend. What do you have for us?
You can check online, YCNnow.com. Hockey, basketball, and football. It starts bright and early on Friday morning. The Belpot Tournament, college hockey tournament from Ireland. UVM will take on UMass at 11 a.m. That'll be followed by Quinnipiac at St. Lawrence. Then at 7 o'clock on Friday night, it's the Barclay Classic basketball from Brooklyn. Kansas State will take on Boston College. Then to follow that up at 9:30, it'll be Maryland taking on Richmond. College football starts off our Saturday at high noon, Arkansas State at Louisiana Lafayette. Then South Alabama at Idaho at 3:30. And then college basketball, the Barclays Classic, the consolation game at 7, the championship game at 9:30. All that right here on YCN. You can find out the schedule at YCNnow.com. Also email us your comments and questions and memorabilia. We got the Dartmouth sweatshirt hanging up right there. Sports Talk at YCNnow.com. Any emails sent to us.
All right, so we got plenty to do after your Thanksgiving feast on Thursday. You have all day Friday and Saturday. And speaking of all day Friday and Saturday, plenty of college football, some of the games you mentioned. And the big ones, college football rankings coming out Tuesday. Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson are the top 4. Any problems with those 4 before we go ahead into the next coming weeks?
No,
as we stand right now.
You've got Washington at 10-1. The rest have 2 losses. I'm looking down the list, and Western Michigan, 21st, just like they were last week. But they are 11-0 right now. But again, they don't play in one of those big conferences.
Right.
But if they're undefeated, that could put a fly in the ointment. The big winner, the big game to watch, obviously, is Ohio State at Michigan at 12 noon, and that'll throw everybody for a loop, or it'll go as follows as everybody wants it to.
Okay, so if we're going right now, what are we looking at for the scenarios? If we have everything holding it, I don't want to say it's going to happen because we know the upsets, but if Alabama holds serve, Clemson should be able to get their win, and then Ohio State should beat Michigan. They're 7-point favorites. Mm-hmm. That's going to throw the wrench in the plans. What happens then if those things happen? Who do you feel, assuming Ohio State wins, and then it goes Penn State versus Wisconsin probably for the Big Ten championship?
I still think Michigan at home has a chance to beat Ohio State.
No, Michigan's on the road.
Or Michigan's on the road. I still think
they have a chance. They're only 6.5-point underdogs, which is nothing really in this
You're going to have
situation.
Penn State, then you're going to have Penn State in the Big Ten championship, and they have 2 losses, but they already beat Ohio State.
Right.
I still don't think we can determine anything until Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
Or when the next rankings come up.
Well, correct. But do you think Ohio State is rightfully deserving of a spot in the playoffs?
If they beat Michigan.
Okay, so if they beat Michigan,
yes.
But then they won't obviously be in the Big Ten championship game
But that's fine with them. Okay. Why do you want to play an extra game?
Well, you're not a conference champion.
But I understand that.
And the committee has made it clear that that's important. I'm not disagreeing with the premise because I agree with you. I think they should be in. But is it a foregone conclusion?
Maybe.
Or can Washington?
I'm not.
We can sit here all day and say maybe, but then we wouldn't be on
answer.
TV. Come on
but
now.
I think it's beneficial.
Need some hot takes from Dave.
I think if everything plans out, it's beneficial for Ohio State not to play that extra game. They can sit back and watch what happens. And then if Penn State loses in that Big Ten championship game, Ohio State says, "Thank you very much, Penn State. We got to watch it from the comfort of our own couch."
Right.
Now.
So then at that point, you'd probably have Wisconsin and Ohio State in, because the Big Ten champ has to get in.
Yes.
Right. And it's not going to be Ohio State, most likely.
What happens to Western Michigan, then?
Well, they're out. I'm not buying that. You've been
undefeated?
trying to sell the Chippewas to me for 3 weeks now, and I'm not buying. Okay, the big question now in the Pac-12, Washington. That seems to be the wild card team. They have 1 loss. They play in a Power 5 conference, so they're a little higher ranked, obviously, than Western Michigan, but not as highly ranked as a Big Ten or SEC. So Washington.
See how much we're confused
I know, we're confusing
about this?
ourselves. So Washington, where do they lie in this whole thing if they win the Pac-12? Should they sneak in?
Yes.
Okay.
See, you're asking me questions, though. We haven't even played the games yet.
Well, we're saying if...
What would I like to see?
Well, the Jets are going to lose.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I don't know who you follow for college.
I like Penn State.
Okay.
I follow Penn State. I think
Okay.
it was a great win against Ohio State. They barely squeaked that one out.
Yeah.
But I think the Buckeyes right now are in the best scenario by not having to play.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it at that.
Right, and we'll find out what happens next week on our next show on Wednesday.
It's
find out who's going to play for the Big Ten championship.
But I still don't think anything's going to be solved because we already know what should happen. It's just a matter of what the committee. See, that's the problem. We're not even analyzing games. We're analyzing how the committee is going to think about the games.
And 10 years ago, with the whole BCS championship, we couldn't figure out either,
Hey,
because
right.
it's how bad did you beat your opponent 31-30, or did you beat them 63-0?
Right.
Because the amount of points you beat them by, that was taken into factor as well.
Right. All right. Well, we have to take a break, but we are going to come back and talk Dartmouth, because the football team wrapped their season up and the soccer team was in Syracuse last Sunday. And so we will talk about that along with our picks. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.